I am resident of Callaway for YouTube, Joel Saints. That is my buddy Patrick McCray. That is my buddy Alan Gallant. We're here to review the movie Vice, which is about Vice President Dick Cheney, whose life is loosely based on the game Duck Hunt. Anyway, so
Really? Duck Hunt?
yeah.
You know you can win that game without even trying. You just stick
Yes,
the gun to the screen and you get it.
yeah, exactly.
That's what I used to do.
So,
You gotta have heart.
yeah,
That's right.
Patrick, when did you first see this movie, man?
I saw the date came out, which was I think 2018. It was Christmas.
Yes.
Christmas time 2018, and it was a real throwback to. I hate to say this, I'm such an asshole, but it was a throwback to when movies were good. You know, it feels like a movie from about 10 years in the past, because it's so smart and it's so well acted, and it has such a sense of humor while not backing away from very serious things.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All from the director of Anchorman.
Yes, which
And
is
Step
like
Brothers.
a mind blower.
It is.
Violet and Step Brothers?
Yeah. Well, when did you first see this movie, Alan?
I think I saw it right after New Year's of 2019, so very close to its opening as well. I saw it in the theaters as well. It's one of those things that you do when you're interested in political stuff. You go see these kind of movies all the time. So
I just wanted to see it because of the amazing transformation of Christian Bale.
well, yeah, I mean they leaked some production photos, and so you knew that it was pretty amazing. But
Yeah.
then to actually see it in motion, see him in motion, was pretty incredible.
Getting ahead of myself, but one of the things I really like about this movie is how well it explains the political situations going on without being condescending and without being redundant if you already know, some of this
Right.
stuff. That's a hell of a trick to pull off.
Yeah, it's the way the dialogue is constructed. It's just conversations these people are having that reveal the attitudes and the machinations of
It's got good narration by Jesse Plemons.
Yeah, Plemons is great.
Yeah, he provides a very, very, very thoughtful narration.
Yeah.
There are intertitles, that explain things. It walks you through it very clearly.
Yeah. I first saw this today.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I knew about Dick Cheney from the news.
Sure.
And one of Dennis Miller's best puns was
Dennis Miller, I love him.
Dick Cheney, the man you don't want to stand in front of,
No, right.
no matter what.
Not when he's duck hunting.
Why did someone try to shoot at
For
him?
those in the audience that don't know much about Dick Cheney, some of our younger people maybe, at one point, Dick Cheney actually shot a guy in the face.
Yeah,
It was it was probably not on purpose, and the guy was okay. So it was a glancing sort of shot, but he never apologized for it. This was sort of the sociopathy of this guy. He made the other guy apologize for getting shot.
How he pulled that off, I'll never know. What a feat!
By that time, the guy was totally intimidating. I mean, he was totally intimidating.
Dude, that's like something I might do. He'd be like, I shot you, it's your fault.
Well, the guy literally had the power of the presidency. He was really kind of pulling all the levers for George W., who was kind of a simple guy. He was not a sophisticated guy. Cheney was very sophisticated by this point. He'd studied at the feet of
Donald Rumsfeld,
absolute masters. Donald Rumsfeld, who was also a political cynic, but he also knew where the levers of power were, and he knew how to leverage people and do all of that sort of thing. Leverage meaning screw over people in order to get more power for yourself. Rumsfeld was brilliant at that. Well, this is cutthroat politics. This is high level stuff and ambitious people and so on. This movie is also a story of ambition.
Yeah, hugely.
Yeah.
Yeah, the transformation that Christian Bale underwent was really, really amazing.
Yeah.
Because when
He,
you
he,
see,
he, he
sorry,
did
go ahead.
gain a lot of weight for the role.
Yeah,
It was the last time that he did that because it started to affect his health. But he was totally committed to the role.
Like staring at the screen.
yeah, yeah. But yes, he because when you see Dick Cheney, like I would not imagine Christian Bale playing him.
No,
But I mean, they did a really good job of when he was younger and when he was older.
yeah, the
And
transformation is kind of gradual. He does that thing that Cheney does with his face. That
yeah,
sort of talking out of the side of his mouth thing that he
Oh,
does.
the mannerisms.
Yeah, the
You
mannerisms,
mentioned in a
they're all
private
there.
conversation the breathing.
Yeah, yes, the breathing because he's heavy and he also experiences pulmonary and cardiac problems throughout his life. He had I don't know 3 or 4 heart attacks in his life, and they almost make a comedic thing of that because he knows they're coming.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I think it's time to go to the hospital. Yeah, that kind of thing. So he's like totally calm about everything. That's another thing about
Yes.
Cheney, his calmness, after being a hellraiser as a young man, he develops this complete undercurrent attitude about everything. He
yeah,
observes everything, and they talk about that in the movie. How you observe things, you watch things. Rummy is one of the guys that teaches him how to do that, and then you strike when the time is right. Make your you don't make your ambitions known. You only make your loyalties known to the people that you want to manipulate. And
but yeah, Bob Dole did disappear. Dick Cheney is the guy you wish did disappear.
well, Cheney was, yeah. I mean, he was very. It's ironic because in his earlier life he was pretty aimless and at least according to this movie, and he was doing jobs that weren't going to go anywhere. It turns out that Lynn, his wife, is at least, if not more ambitious than he is.
yeah,
She kind of is a guiding force in their early marriage, early relationship, to getting him away from being aimless and actually doing something with his innate abilities. And he has them, and he discovers them once he gets kind of sober because he's drinking a lot at the beginning of the movie.
yeah.
Sort of his early life sort of parallels W's in a lot of ways, which is an irony in itself
Yeah.
as well.
What's something like in Dick Cheney's life that you didn't know that maybe the movie revealed, or vice versa?
When I first saw it, I didn't realize the way that he manipulated W into believing that oh no, I'm not your vice president. He played that
Yeah.
game
Yeah.
with him because he knew he not only instinctively but also from past history knew who W was emotionally and mentally, intellectually. He knew what he could do and how he could attract this guy like a magnet, and he did it. And what he did is he played hard to get. And then he played like, oh well, I'll tell you, I'll go ahead and look at these candidates. Well, you want to be the head of my team? No, I'll do it by myself.
I'm the team.
I'm the team,
Yeah.
so that he can control
Yeah.
and actually just come up with some BS list and then put himself forward, which is what he did. And but he wasn't going to do it unless he could get W to give him all these concessions, which basically gave him executive power, which he then starts to use during the 9/11 crisis to its maximum effect. And this happened. Okay, Mr. President, you're going to stay in the air while I'm down here in the bunker taking care of things. And basically, Cheney was president during that period of time. And from then on, he flexed much more.
Yeah.
For the rest of the W presidency. So he was, and that's when things get dark, really dark, because the movie goes into how Cheney relaxes reality in order to fit a narrative. In other words, he gets Colin Powell to say in front of the UN Council that, oh, we found all this stuff. This is definitely happening in Iraq and blah, 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 when it wasn't. And Powell later admitted that was his lowest point, having basically lying for Dick Cheney. Was told it was in the best interests of the country and all this sort of stuff. So he had something to buy into, but it wasn't true. It was more about Halliburton, Kellogg, Root and Brown, which is the company that he'd worked for before he was vice president as a CEO, who had interests in everything from oil to supplying the military. And so their stock went up, I think it says at the end of the movie, 500%.
Yeah.
During Cheney's vice presidency.
Surprise, surprise, surprise. Yeah.
So it's a very interesting political development when you go from Reagan, you go from Nixon, to Reagan, and now to the Bushes, and Cheney's developing his connections throughout that whole thing, and then finally getting all this power through Bush 2. And then what does this, looking back on this now, and they were looking at it from the point of view of what does this mean for the present? What has this done to politics for the present time? And it ain't good. It's one of those situations where it wasn't a good thing. And Cheney, you get to see Cheney's human side. It's great. I mean, you get to see that, but you also get to see that human beings can be monsters.
Yeah. Well, and I think the displays of humanity, which I think are pretty rich,
They are.
not in a funny way, but in a genuine way.
Yes.
Do offset that monstrousness in a way that just makes the monstrousness all the more disappointing.
Yes,
because
it makes the monster look like, oh, it's a person with real serious feet of clay.
Yeah.
As well as doing monstrous things. They're also so terribly flawed as a human being, and they're falling so short. Like how short does he fall with his daughter Mary? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
After being absolutely loyal to her.
Unbelievably. And that's a scene that I always tear up at, the one in the hospital.
Yeah.
Because it's just great. You're expecting something else. You're expecting him to be like Lynn. You're expecting this to be one of those moments where he really shows his true colors as a son of a bitch, and he's father of the year.
Right, he's father of the year, but then later, when his other daughter's running for Congress, he throws her out like a piece of trash, and that was a real deal too. That affected the relationship between Mary, her mother, and her sister, and her father for years and years and years. She wouldn't even talk about them. I think that they came to some terms later, but much later.
It's interesting. Trump has really brought them together, or
yes,
had brought them
I think
together.
that was part of it, actually. It's been part of it because of Liz. Because
yes.
Liz sort of stood up against Trump, and Dick did as well. Dick made some
statements
about that, and I think that probably did help mend that transgression that had happened so many years before.
And that is one of the things that I do admire about Dick Cheney is that, of course he had nothing to lose, but, he was one of those old school Republicans who, as evil as he was, kept his mind
Well, he also
when
believed in government.
yes, yes, it's just it's an odd thing. He's not running for a third term and trying to get his face put on
No.
currency or
Yeah, right. Right. Yeah, he believed in the checks and balances and all of that sort of thing, in spite of sort of working around them at times. He didn't believe in destroying them. So yeah, there was that to go on. Yeah, I thought it was a really good arc of a life, the way they presented it.
it is, considering it
He
wasn't over
starts
yet.
when he's in his 20s, in early 20s or whatnot, and goes right straight through until 2018.
Um,
So,
I think what really shocked me most about Cheney was it's like, because I heard about the whole shooting thing when I was younger, stuff like him shooting some guy.
yeah, it was
It's
bizarre.
like every comedian had a field day with that one.
sure.
Well, also people, I mean, there's a distinct possibility he shot the guy because he pissed him off.
Yeah,
There's a distinct possibility they did it on purpose.
yeah.
He wasn't trying to kill him; he was just trying to wound him, and he shot him on the side of his face.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty intense stuff. But even if he did it by mistake, the fact that he refused to apologize for it, even publicly, for political expediency, because by that
Yeah.
time, you're a little man. I don't need to apologize to you. That's another thing that happened with Cheney. He went from being associative to being manipulative to being imperious. That's what power did for him and to him.
You're doing cricket.
Well, and now the late Dick Cheney is up in heaven with his hunting buddies. So,
Well, maybe in that direction.
Maybe.
Might be someplace a little warmer. I don't know.
Yeah.
To look at a different aspect of the story, I really appreciate the creativity and audaciousness of this movie in terms of how it tells its story. It's like Orson Welles with Citizen Kane pulling out. I mean, the movie's not the equivalent of Citizen Kane, but when Welles made Kane, he used every storytelling trick he could find. It was a series of magic tricks.
Yes.
And in this, Adam McCray just deconstructs what a movie should be and then puts it back together any way he goddamn well wants,
Right.
including openly borrowing from everyone from William Shakespeare to Andy Kaufman.
Yes.
When he has, my God, I had forgotten how funny the sequences in the middle of the movie with the music, incredible John Williams style music, when it gives the fictitious ending of what Cheney's life could have been, and the closing credits start rolling.
Yeah.
God, I never laughed harder.
Yeah,
That's hyperbolic, but I laughed pretty damn hard.
I also thought that I mean, obviously the supporting cast was brilliant, genius. The casting was so king in this movie, unbelievable.
Down to Tyler Perry.
Yes, that's Colin Powell.
This Colin Powell.
Yeah, he was. It was just dyspeptic. It was like that's exactly how Colin Powell must have felt the whole time this was going on. Like he was not going to. All of a sudden he's going. This guy is like taking over. What the hell is going on?
And really, if you want to cast serious people, cast comedic people. Because Steve Carell's in this movie.
Steve Carell's in this movie. Sam Rockwell, who's really good at comedy.
Rockwell's amazing.
Stuff. He's fantastic as W. I mean, I think that that Josh Brolin did a great job in the movie W as well. I thought he did. He was fabulous. But Rockwell is just amazing as well. You can just see the wheels turning, it's just like.
He was right up there, and I mean this, with Timothy Bottoms, who played in That's My Bush, where he plays in us. Did you see that series?
I have not.
Do you know about it?
No.
Okay. In the first year of the Bush administration, the W administration, Bottoms got together with Trey Parker and Matt Stone and made a live action sitcom that was both a parody of the Bush administration and a parody of sitcoms. It even had Marshall Wallace as the sassy maid in the White House. And it is right on the mark. And it, of course, it was all before 9/11.
Yes.
But Bottoms is, you look up a picture of him on the internet in the park.
He looks like W. Yeah,
He
sure. At
looks
that
and
time, he would have
sounds
been perfect.
just like him.
He would have been similar age and everything else.
Yes.
So,
Yes. And Cheney is, this, of course, villainous figure who
yes.
at one point somehow rigs up a humiliation where George has to leave office and he takes over as I'm in charge now. And and so W goes through a series of different jobs, each one of which represents a different sitcom. Like he becomes a teacher, and it's a Welcome Back, Kotter.
Yeah.
And he buys a bar, which as a recovering alcoholic is not a good idea.
No.
And then finally, the longest running sitcom he has is called it's not a Part-Time Wrestler or something like that, where he becomes a masked wrestler.
Oh yeah.
And Cheney orders him like a royal king to have a wrestling match in the White House because he's become so popular with the public, and he insists on him being unmasked. And he is unmasked, and he proves that Cheney had manipulated him the whole time. Just the whole series is very fun.
Yeah. Okay. What's it called again?
That's My Bush.
That's My Bush. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find that somewhere.
It even has, and they did this on purpose, a theme song with lyrics that are sung in such a faux R&B way that they become unintelligible.
Yeah.
Like, like Different Strokes and Facts of Life and so on. They even capture that. I think it was one of the most expensive sitcoms ever made because the sets are opulent. They really capture the Oval Office, the inside of the White House. They spared no expense, and it's outrageous. But and you could get away with this at this point in the administration. Sure. It's a little fond. It shows him as a lovable doofus, sort of trying to do the right thing.
Right.
And in that period of time, and this was even before I think the faith-based initiatives, because it was so early into the Bush administration that they had an alternate series ready to go about Gore, in case Gore had won. Yeah. So they had both. I don't know if they had it cast, but they certainly had it prepped just in case.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
So it's good too. But with Vice, Adam McCay he does such a logical thing, which is, what would tell the story best at this point? This. And it's not anything that has to do with traditional narrative. It has to do with telling the story in an interesting, engaging way.
Well, he starts by giving us the entree of this mystery character who turns out to be his heart donor.
That's right.
And who was also a veteran of the Iraq War. So it's just, that's a great starting point to kind of turn the narrative on its ear that way and make it very non-traditional.
You know what it has a touch of? Sunset Boulevard.
That's right, because the narrator is dead at the beginning of the movie. That's right. He's lying at the bottom of the pool.
Yeah.
So,
that's a movie we should talk about sometime. You like Sunset Boulevard?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a great movie. I love that movie.
It's so melodrama, noir Americana. It's such a Hollywood film on purpose. It's just.
It's got a dead body in a pool.
Well, I mean, and it's got Gloria Swanson, whose career is reinvigorated. This was a woman that started in silent movies, for God's sakes, just like her character.
I'm ready for my close-up.
And yet Swanson was completely different from, Nora Desmond. She was completely different. She was,
And yet, comparatively, she was not very old when she made the movie.
No, because it was made in what, 50? Yeah. So I mean, she'd probably been in the movie business for 25 years by that time.
I think she was in
But
her,
she
her
didn't.
early to mid 50s.
Yeah, I mean, she might even been 48 or something. I don't
Yeah.
know, but she could have easily been. A lot of those film stars that made the transition to talkies were still working in
Yeah.
the 50s.
And we aged differently.
Yeah,
You know,
she was a
because
health nut. She actually looked better than Desmond looked.
Yeah.
You know, she was slapping the weird makeup on and stuff like that in the roles to make her look kind of, even older and so on, and more fragile and brittle in appearance. But yeah, she took care of herself. She was a health nut right to the end. I mean, she wrote a book about the pitfalls of too much sugar, that sugar was a poison
yeah.
and all. It's called Sugar Blues. And she made the talk show circuits well into her 70s.
Uh-huh.
She was on Mike Douglas and
Wasn't she in one of the airports? She was in Airport 75.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
She was definitely in one of the airport movies. She was still active and working in the 70s. She was in the movie Killer Bees, for God's
Yes, she was. You know, another sequence of movies, Joel, that would probably be fun to talk about is the airport movies.
Uh-huh.
Just, Hollywood opulence gone wrong. I mean,
Yes.
it goes from winning Best Picture to Airport 79, the Concorde.
Yeah, it's sort of almost parody of itself.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I see a link that I'm happy to see.
here it is.
Yeah, yeah. Sunset Boulevard.
Yep.
There you go.
Sounds like a plan.
I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. Sains.
Really.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. I can do that. Alan, can you?
Yeah.
There he is. Next, you're going to be going to a funeral for a chimp,
Oh God.
which is such a perfect beginning.
Yeah.
Inexplicable. I don't remember if they ever really even go into talking about who the chimp was, do they?
I don't recall.
That was Mr. Bongo. That was my friend.
Yeah,
it's better if they don't.
Yeah, because it's like, well, he was really popular and it's really good to be seen at his funeral, and it's that kind of thing. So yeah, it doesn't really matter who the poor chimp was. It's just that, hey, it's Hollywood.
Another movie that's interesting to look at, and if you've never seen it, Joel, you go out of your way to see it. It's called Fedora. And it's one of Billy Wilder's last movies, and it takes place in two different periods in Hollywood. But it stars William Holden, and then it stars Stephen Collins, noted. I won't even describe him, but
yeah, noted.
We'll just say first new captain of the Enterprise.
Yeah.
And leave it at that.
Yeah.
It stars Stephen Collins as a young. I'm gonna call him Richard Burton. What the hell is this guy? William Holden.
Yeah.
As a young William Holden, and he's eerily reminiscent of William Holden. And of course, being directed by Billy Wilder, who directed a young William Holden, perfect.
I'm sure that Wilder gave him all the pointers he ever needed. That's for sure.
I'm sure he did. Yeah, it's a we forget about Billy's movies after a certain point in the 60s.
Right.
But he kept making them.
Yes, he did.
And they're weird, good, Avanti and Fedora and Buddy Buddy, which we talked about, which is not a great movie, but it's an interesting movie. Klaus Kinski is some sort of sexologist or something.
Another perfect role for Klaus.
Yeah, it's perfect. He was born for the part.
You know what movie we should rewatch with Alan?
What?
Autofocus. We
really should, because
we talked about it. Actually.
Yeah, I would be happy to do that. It was a good discussion, Jewel. It was a good discussion, but I think Alan would be a great person to chat about it with.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to redo it here.
Yeah, it's really worth twice. It's got so much going on in it, and it reminds me of Vice in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of the way it treats history and the filmmaking tricks that Schrader uses to
Yes.
depict history. You know, the lighting, the type of film stock, everything, the color treatment, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
Uh,
The fact that everybody's striving to be the protagonist in their own film of life. Those characters are all, and it's the same way with Vice. They're all struggling to be the protagonist, the one that comes out on top.
I thought Amy Adams could be evil,
Mm.
and boy, she's just magnificent. She is both bland, which I don't think of Amy Adams as being, and
No.
evil.
She's poisonous.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
she's great. She's fabulous.
The Macbeth. I don't know. Is that dialogue from Macbeth or is it just Macbeth-ish?
I've got to go back and look because I'm not a big Macbeth scholar, so I'd have to go back and look. But I think, you know, what it's meant to be that if it's
Yes,
not,
it's good
and
fake
it's
Shakespeare
meant
if
to
it is
go. I
fake
mean, you're
Shakespeare.
basically going off into this. What the hell's going on? You know.
I just love the audaciousness
Yeah.
of it. It really is, because that's the sort of thing that at least me as a director, I am used to dealing with people who would spend a lot of energy arguing me out of that idea because it was creative and interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's something that a lot of people don't want to get near.
Right, because it's risky. It's risky stuff,
But I
especially in a
find
big
it
budget movie. Totally risky.
Yeah, but I find it hilarious. And part of it is I find the audaciousness of it being in the movie and that he got away with having it in the movie is part of the joy of it, just like having the ending credits in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of fun that you gain the power that the money of Anchorman and the money of Step Brothers, which is truly one of the worst films I've ever seen.
It is terrible, but
It's a terrible
it made
movie.
a lot of money.
It made a shitload of money. And, you know, and then you turn that into The Big Short and Vice.
Yep.
And God bless Will Ferrell for producing them.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And Brad Pitt for this one. I mean,
well, they both
producers.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good movie. And it's in his own bland way, Chaney still manages to be very seductive in that last monologue that he gives, which is so interestingly placed because before it, you just see these statistics of the death, the death that happened as a result of
and then he gives the standard post 9/11 justification for it.
And the weird thing is, as a slack-jawed dullard, which I am, I find myself in the middle of it falling for it. And then I have to pull myself back out of it, and then ending with that scene of these people fighting the focus group for the movie, and just thinking, oh my God, that's what this has led to.
Right.
Yeah, Joel, if you like this movie, another good movie to see is Bombshell, which is about Fox News.
Yes, about the women at Fox News
and Roger Ailes.
A lawsuit against Roger Ailes. Roger Ailes appears in Vice briefly.
Yeah. So. But it's a good movie, sort of covering some of the fallout and some of the culture of this era.
Yeah.
And it's fun, kind of, in the way this is fun. It's irreverent,
but it's also a little
horrifying.
Horrifying.
It's horrifying. Yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, the sexual harassment part is
on both sides. I mean, you're talking about careerism versus basically a sexual harasser. There are no heroes here. Not really.
John Lithgow play Roger Ailes?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, he's very good.
Yes. Yeah. I think he was. Yeah, I think he might have been coming off of or getting ready to do The Crown at that point. So yeah, interesting juxtaposition of character there.
Yeah, 1699.
Did
not.
No, I didn't hear that.
No.
What'd she say?
Anyway, so by the way, if you get into the history of pro wrestling, Ted Turner wasn't worried when WCW was initially losing money because CNN, he told Tony Schiavone this when he bought CNN, CNN was losing money for years.
That's correct.
So,
You know, sure. I mean, but if you trace the booking, you can see they were building that months in advance.
yeah.
You know, but yeah, here's the thing: wrestling's all about the moments, not the statistics.
Right.
You know, I mean, I have to say I liked it better when they still protected kayfabe.
Yeah.
But at any point they were reacting to the crowd more than the script. I mean, you know, yes, there was a lot happening behind the scenes people forget about. I mean, we'll be relitigating that feud forever concerning the Montreal screw job. You know, it
Yes.
depends on which side of the screw job you're on. You can tell who grew up on work rate and who grew up on spectacle. I
Right.
mean, yes, but wrestling's always been about moments, not statistics. Like Foley off the cell. Nobody
Yeah.
cares how many suplexes, just that fall.
Right.
You know, I liked it better when they still protected kayfabe. I mean, like when Taker never broke character, even on talk shows. I mean, now everyone's winking at the camera. It kills the magic. I mean, at that point, they were reacting to the crowd more than the script. You can see it when Rock lets the chant ride before his punchline. That night in Philly, the fans basically booked the match for them. I mean, yeah, but there was a lot happening behind the scenes people forget about. The locker room politics were wild. Russo, Cornette, everyone pulling strings. Half those pushes were punishment disguised as opportunity. I mean, Time Bomb depends on which side of the screw job you're on. Brett's still the moral center for me, but Vince created the perfect villain. Nobody rewired the business. Everything was was post kayfabe.
Now I want you all to go out to your windows, throw them open, and yell to the streets, "I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore."
You know, you can't teach charisma, and that's what everyone's been chasing since.
Yes.
Now, Joel, did you like that?
Yes, very good job. Very
Well,
good
at
job.
least we can agree on this. Nobody sells a stunner like The Rock.
Yeah.
The people's elbow. I mean, if you can sell that, you can sell Bitcoin. For God's sakes.
Yeah.
Jewel, I went to my good friend ChatGPT, and I had it create a list of wrestling phrases to drop. So I was just reading one after the other. I don't know what any of them mean. Don't explain them. Don't explain them. But
the mystery is too good.
That's right. That's right.
I unfortunately I understood them all.
Oh yeah, because you're a man of the world. So's Jewel. You know, I'm a cloistered a nebbish a nudnik, if you will. You know, I don't know these things.
Yeah. Thank God you don't. That's some
Saint Schmedrick,
God. Thank you for paying tribute to us sophisticates.
Yes. Absolutely. I give this movie a 10 out of 10. Very good.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's a great film.
Yeah.
Is
there anything you guys want to add before we go?
I think people should watch the movie. It has somehow fallen into a little bit of obscurity very quickly, and it's worth looking at. It's a good double feature with W. With Josh Brolin, as you mentioned earlier. It's a good movie.
Yeah, it's a great. Both those movies are a great reminder of a particular political time and place.
What happened to Oliver Stone?
Are important. They're important. So,
what happened to Oliver Stone?
That's a good question.
It is a good question. He's kind of, I don't know.
You would think that the past 9 years would have been,
grist. Yes.
Yeah.
Like a fertile time for his particular brand of sort of mixing fact and fiction to make a point that's very factual in many cases. I don't know. Maybe he's just decided, I've done it.
I know he did an interview. I know he's done interviews.
Because he's got to be pushing 80 now. He's got to be up there.
I hate aging.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for some people, it kind of slows them down. For others, it doesn't. It never really truly slowed down Robert Redford. He kept working behind the scenes even after he quit acting.
Unbelievable. Fantastic. I mean, unbelievable he was able to do that.
Yep.
Yeah. So is there anything you guys want to add before we go?
Well, I'm looking forward to Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
So link to Patrick McCray's Dark Shadows Day Book and Bound is going to be in the description box. Link to Alan Gallant's YouTube channel. Colin's Porch After Dark is going to be in the description box. You guys go check them out. Have a good night.
Thank you,
Sure,
Joel.
guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.